If you walked a mile in Coach Dan Hicks' shoes, you would be led from Vinita High School to Afghanistan and back again. As a teenager at VHS, Coach Hicks, who is now a new teacher and assistant wrestling coach, had aspirations to join the military, go to college, and play sports.
Well, it was a mixture of a lot of things. I think some of it was probably Top Gun when I was in high school was a big movie, so I wanted to be a fighter pilot in the Navy. And also I wanted to go to college and play sports, so that, and be in the military. So the only way you can do all three of those is either go to a military academy or go ROTC. And I don't know, just going to academy just seemed like a good idea. And it was free, so I went. I went to what's called the Naval Academy Preparatory School. So I joined the Navy, and I was enlisted in the Navy. When I graduated from the prep school, I got admission to the academy. So I was still in the Navy. I was a Navy, what they call midshipman, for 4 years. So I've been in 5 years in the Navy total when I went to school.
While at the U.S. Naval Academy Prep School, Coach Hicks played football and wrestled. In 1991, he was named Outstanding Athlete of his class. As an All-American wrestler, he's won many awards and set many records. He capped off his Naval Academy wrestling career by winning the prestigious Sword Award, naming him once again Athlete of his 1995 class.
When I graduated from the academy, I chose to go in the Marine Corps. I took a commission as a lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. I could have went as an ensign in the Navy. It's the same thing. You're the lowest rank officer you can get. So you can either go Marine Corps or Navy out of the Naval Academy, because there is no Marine Corps Academy. The Marine Corps is part of the Navy, so they use the Naval Academy. So I went in the Marine Corps. I served 19 years in the Marine Corps, and then I retired.
Coach Hicks continued his wrestling career on the Marine Corps wrestling team. He was selected the Marine Corps Male Athlete of the Year in 1996 and again in 2002. He went on to coach the All-Marine Wrestling Team and was named 2010 Coach of the Year by USA Wrestling.
Okay, on the elbow, I'm just going to pass it right there. Okay.
Coach Hicks is no stranger to the VHS football field or wrestling room. It's where his success began, as a Hornet. In 1990, he was named Football All-State Honorable Mention. In wrestling, he was a 3-time state champion, a 4-time state qualifier, an All-Stater, and set a VHS record in 1990 with 32 wins, no losses, with 25 falls. Coach Hicks married his high school sweetheart Vanessa Burkhalter in 1995. They have 3 boys, Jordan, Aiden, and Loudon. For Coach Hicks, moving home after retiring from the military was an easy choice.
I've traveled to probably 50 different countries. I've been on every continent, and I had to choose where I wanted to go, and I could have went probably anywhere, and I came here because I appreciate this place a lot more now that I've been away from it. The ongoing transition from the military to the classroom, how smooth is it? It's been challenging. It's been fun, but it has been challenging because I'm used to being an officer in the Marine Corps. I'm used to whatever I say, people do. They don't ask questions. They don't say no. They don't talk back. They say yes, sir, or aye, sir, and that's it. Obviously, at Vinita High School, that doesn't always happen. So it's been different. It's been challenging. In some ways, leading freshmen is a lot more difficult than leading 22-year-old combat Marines. But at the same time, it's rewarding as well. Football and the military are a lot alike because you're only as good as your weakest link, especially in the Marine Corps. In the Marine Corps, we fight in squad to company size formations and groups, which is like a football team. In a lot of ways, the wrestling room too, and I know football and wrestling, I'm sure every other sports, could make similarities, but especially in wrestling, it's so incredibly challenging physically and mentally that the Marine Corps actually purposely recruits former wrestlers, because kids that wrestle in high school make great Marines because they don't ask questions, they're not afraid, they don't have fear, and they're not afraid of things, and they're willing to be challenged physically and mentally. And if you don't want to be challenged physically and mentally, the military is not the place for you. So there are a lot of similarities, yes.
VHS senior Chase Jamerick wants that physical and mental challenge. He plans to enlist after graduation. Coach Hicks has been a role model for him, giving him insight into military life.
I'm constantly talking to Danny Hicks about the military. He gives me a lot of pointers on what I need to do, what to get prepared for, what's it's really going to be like, because he was in there in the past year, so he knows what's really going on right now, and so I got a lot of respect for him as well. I don't really have a legitimate reason like why I want to go. Ever since I was little, I've always kind of wanted to do something more than just college, and it feels something like I have to do. I mean, people go to college for benefits. I'm not getting any kind of real benefits while I'm in there, but it just feels like something I've had to do for like ever. So.
For Coach Hicks, serving in the military was a life-changing experience.
I would say that if you knew me before I came in the military when I was a student here at Vinita High School, and if you knew me now, you would notice a big change in me. The military definitely changed me. I have more of an appreciation for country and family and God. It showed me the bigger picture in life. I got to go to a lot of places. I got to see how a lot of people live. I got to realize how great America really is, and Oklahoma and Vinita. I have that. It gave me a perspective that I think I know I didn't have when I was young. Looking out when I just grew up in Vinita my whole life, I didn't have a perspective like I do now. The military gave me that perspective.
Veterans Day is important to Coach Hicks because of a personal friend who was killed in action in Iraq.
Went to school with him, wrestled with him at the Naval Academy. He's a super guy, an awesome kid. He loved his country. He loved his family. He was just a great guy. Doug Zembiec, if you ever want to look him up, you can find him on anywhere, online, Wikipedia. They called him the Line of Fallujah because of what he did in the Fallujah battle in Iraq. He was killed by a sniper in Iraq. We actually started a club called the Doug Zembiec Memorial Foundation, where we raise money for wrestling teams through wrestling. So we'll do clinics and charge people money in his honor, and then we'll take that money, dedicate it to his high school and other worthy causes that we feel like. So Veterans Day, we think about it more than just on Veterans Day, but on Veterans Day, it's very important that we think about Doug Zembiec and people like Doug Zembiec who gave the ultimate prize for the country.
If you pass Coach Dan Hicks in the hallways of Vinita High School, he probably won't tell you about all of his titles, awards, and accomplishments. Instead, he'll tell you stories of friends like Doug Zembiec and others who have sacrificed everything for us.